Whoosh. All right, good evening. Good evening. How do you all feel? So it's always such a pleasure to be able to speak to you and tell you guys all about the job I love doing. You've seen a lot of pictures tonight about the building, and I'm sure you're wondering what the people do in that building. So one of the things I'm going to do tonight is tell you. And I don't want to, baffle you with a whole bunch of science. What I want to do is really show you that we are doing a rigorous scientific approach, and that we're doing experiments, we're analysing data, and we're making quality products based on the scientific insights that we get. So my job tonight is to convey the excitement that I have for my job and tell you a bit about what we do and about our approach to product development. So how did I come to be here? Well, when I was a kid, sitting at the breakfast table, my mum used to have a little row of bottles, and this is a picture of me getting an award last year, and it was particularly special because I was with my parents, and they live in England, and it was just by coincidence that they happened to be in Utah when I got the award. And one of the memories is sitting at the breakfast table with my parents as a child, and my mum having a row of bottles. And she would open the bottles and she would take out these foul-smelling pills. And she would give one to my dad, and she would give one to herself, and one to my dad, and I remember this for years and years. And I was wondering, what on earth is she doing? And, is she trying to hurry my dad to an early grave or something? And so I think it was my curiosity and my love of biology that really made me want to explore this world of supplements and this world of skincare. And my mum now will be 86 this year. My dad is 82, and I think she was onto something all those years ago, and that her approach to nutrition and to wellness and health has really paid out during their lives. So it's also a monumental year for New Skin this year. Yeah? Happy birthday, New Skin! And you know that we have two brands. We have the New Skin personal care brand, but also the Pharmanex. And tonight I'm going to talk to you a little bit about both. Our approach to science is the same for both brands. And then I'm going to give you some examples of some results from the different brands. So let me tell you a bit about the story of New Skin, our past. And one of the things that strikes me as amazing is the company, when it started in 1984, had 12 personal care products. And some of you may know Blake and Sandy. And their concept of these products was they wanted to provide products that gave a benefit to people when they used them. And they wanted them to be innovative and unique products, and an experience that you'd want to tell your friends about. You'd want to tell your friends because you loved the products and because you saw a benefit. And that concept has been held dear in every single product that we make. We take brand new scientific insights, brand new innovations, and we turn them into great products that you love using and that you also get a personal benefit from. And that's, I think, something that sets New Skin apart from the competition. It's our approach to providing an experience that provides benefit for health and wellness and anti-aging. So another great product came along in 1993, and this one is one that I would take if I was stranded on a desert island. It's one I would want to have with me. It's our nutritional supplement. But the scientists that developed this understood that nutritional supplementation isn't just about vitamins and minerals. there's a lot of things that we need in our diet, that our bodies need to function, that we don't get in our diet and that are outside the world of vitamins and minerals. So this supplement was one of the first ones to incorporate antioxidants, which are really important to help prevent aging, and also plant extracts to ensure that you have a wonderful protection against, the insults that life sends at you, from being out in the sun or from pollution. It gives you that protection. Another innovation of this product came along a few years later, in 2005, and it's this thing called LifePak Nano that sounds really sciencey, but to me, it's about understanding that, we take supplements and they go into our stomach, and sometimes they just sit there. The body kind of says, well, it's really hard for me to get that into the body. So you take it, it sits in your stomach, and it can't go anywhere. LifePak Nano used some new areas of science, and it provided some technology that would help those key nutrients travel into the body so that they can be used by the body. So little helper guys that would help carry those key components of LifePak into the body. So it means that we make the most of our supplements. We get every benefit that they can provide. And then we have this one. I'm sure how many of you have been scanned? Right? This isn't the palm reading special of the night. This is the biophotonic scanner. And, this to me it spells innovation. I've been at Nu Skin 8 years. In the other company that I was working for, we were looking at the same scientific principle. The scanner's based on Raman spectroscopy. And that's a common scientific principle. But we needed a table full of technology to take a scan, to take a reading. And what's amazing about this device is it's so small and portable, and Nu Skin has been able to take the science and the technology to enable you as distributors to have scans of the palm in a very short space of time that give you a read of your internal antioxidant status, right? And it's really a true sort of novel innovation in the scientific arena, and it stands today as being unique in this industry. So I think the scanner is a marvelous device. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about buildings. These were our labs. If any of you visited the lab maybe 3-4 years ago, this is the building that you would have come to. And these are our humble beginnings. It was an old gas building, and we converted it into a laboratory, and we did a lot of our science there. And we were fortunate enough last year to move into this wonderful building. We moved in September of last year. And it's marvelous because for the first time we've had all of the scientists in one building. So we have a wonderful way of communicating and meeting and seeing what's going on very regularly. It's been, it has a huge atrium in it, but I always think, I'm so impressed with the atrium, but I always think, it's the quality of the individuals that work here that make my job so enjoyable and so precious, because we work with a wonderful team of people that are experts in their different scientific disciplines. The Nu Skin Innovation Centre has some other really cool features. So there's over 300,000 square feet of new campus. We've now got 10 total acres of the site and a lot of lovely green space. In fact, some of the green space that you'll see if you go down to the lab is where the previous lab used to be sitting. All right, so what do we do in the building? this is one of my scientists, Kelsey. She works in personal care. So her job is to make prototypes. So the products that you try, like Future Serum or Age-Lock Cleanse and Tone, they all started in our labs. We make our products in-house, our prototypes in-house. And when we start a project, when we start with an idea, we're making many hundreds, tens and hundreds of different prototypes. So Kelsey works in the formulation lab, one of our labs that you'll see if you go around the building, to make all of these prototypes. Once we have some that look good, we like to torture our products. And we send them to the stability lab, and there we subject them to really high temperatures, or we subject them to freeze-thaw cycles to make sure that the products are going to be stable. Right? And we also send them, we have a separate room that's the microbiology lab, because it's really important that we don't provide our distributors with products that grow things we don't want them to. We don't want them to grow bugs or yeast or mold, right? So we want to provide you with a great experience, and we test all of our products to make sure that they're robust and they will resist any type of contamination. So that's a key component. So we make prototypes, we make sure they're stable, we make sure that they're robust and resistant to bugs. And then upstairs on the third floor, there's a clinical lab. And for personal care products, we start to test our products on humans fairly early on. And we do that for two reasons. The first one is the most important, to ensure that it's safe. You know, that it's not going to cause any irritation or itching or allergic response. And we spend a lot of time going through and making sure that our formulations don't provide any negative skin experience. Once we're sure that we've got something that looks good, we then do a lot of benefit testing, that the product provides the benefit, the clinical benefit that we intended it to. So if when we started off, we wanted a product that improved the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. At the end of the day, when we've got a product that is robust, we test it to make sure that it does what we intended it to. And we do some of that testing in-house here, and we do some outside. Some in the US, but we've also run clinical tests in Japan, we've run them in Thailand, we're currently at the moment looking at running some tests in China. So we have a very global outreach of our product testing before we launch anything. We have another lab, chemistry, which Pharmanex use a great deal to ensure that the critical key components that they say are in the product are in there. So we test the products that we sell to make sure that the active components are in there at the concentration that we say they're in there, and that's very important. The reason I'm telling you this is because it goes to the thorough job that we do to ensure that you as distributors have products that we've proven provide a benefit. And I think it's really exciting. You know, if you've got a product that you say on the pack that it does something, but you know for sure it has the data to back it up. We've proven that it's backed up, you know, and it's exciting to have that full package. And it's a product that's been through a very thorough quality process, and we call this our 6S quality process. Another thing that you might find interesting is that we manufacture, once our products are manufactured and you know they're out in the field, we keep samples of them. We call them retains. Every batch that we sell to you, we have a sample. And if any of you come back to us and say, this product smells awful, this product looks awful, we go back and we will pull that retain and we will analyze it to death to make sure we understand what's happening to that product so that we can correct it. So we really are working with you guys to make sure that we're doing the best that we can for you.
Great.
Okay, so we have a robust scientific engine, and we have strong scientific support. So let me tell you a bit about our approach to our science. We don't develop everything in-house. We do our formulations, but we rely a lot on our scientific advisory board to bring us ideas. You know, they're the guys that are talking to people, meeting people in their scientific fields. And Zoe Dralos is a dermatologist, board-certified dermatologist. She's at the end of the bottom row. She, in fact, is at New Skin on the 24th of June. And we were talking to her about some of our exciting future products, and she's going to help us test them. So we have close collaboration with these guys. And these three handsome dudes here, we owe a lot to these guys. We started working with them about 2009, and it's Jamie Barger, Tom Proler, and Rick Weindrich. And Rick Weindrich has been a solid scientist throughout his career, and he's devoted his career to looking at nutritional and dietary intervention on aging, on the body aging, the whole body ages. And in working with them, you know, we were able to get access to his 30 years of research and 30 years of data, which, you know, you can't just get 30 years of data in a week, you know, it's a lot of learning. And it's also about the context, putting data into scientific context. So we acquired LifeGen Technologies in 2011, and that means that we've locked up that package of 30 years of work. New Skin owns that, and only New Skin can get access to that now. So it's a really important acquisition for us. Okay, so one word to describe New Skin is innovative. It's our approach to our science, and it's been an approach to our science since 1984, right up to the present day. And it's what makes my job exciting, taking, you know, great new science and applying it to something that is useful. We're focused, both brands at the moment, New Skin and Pharmanex, on anti-aging. And our approach to anti-aging is not just to look at symptoms of aging. There's a whole bunch of products out there that already talk about improving the signs of fine lines and wrinkles, the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, that talk about improving energy. But what we want to do as scientists, we want to take a step back and say, well, it's great to improve the symptoms, but how did I get to that place in the first place? You know, I want to know scientifically what got me there. What was the source of my aging? And can I take some proactive steps early on so that I have a safeguard for my future and I age healthily? And that's where our science is focused. We're looking at how you age and what gets you to that age state, and figuring out how we can intervene with that from a topical approach and also from a dietary approach. And that's what's unique about New Skin, because there's a whole bunch of products that are in the marketplace. It is a cluttered marketplace, but the way that we approach our product development stands apart from the other companies that are out there. We look at sources of aging through gene expression science, right? And that's about looking at how our genes change as in the young state, and then how they are expressed in the old state, and comparing the two. And we're lucky because we have a couple of technologies today that we use. So this one, I'm sure people have seen by now. This is a gene chip. And it allows us to take a snapshot approach of all of the genes in a cell or in a tissue at a single time. So that's like 20,000 to 25,000 pieces of data in one experiment. So that's an awful lot. And what we do then is we need to sort of streamline that down to a group of really important key genes for the particular aspect of aging that we're looking at. So if we want to understand energy and how our energy changes, then we look at just a group of genes that are influenced by energy as we age. If we want to look at our appearance, fine lines and wrinkles, then we look at different genes that are involved in that aspect of aging. And we have some newer technology today that's called a PCR card, and that's this one here. And the technologies are common. It's how you analyze the data that's the key thing. And again, it helps that we've got that 30 years of data from LifeGen that we own, that we can help to push us forward when we get some new data. We can look at it in the context of all of these findings and give it some new insights. The PCR card enables you to look at a smaller group of key genes in much more detail. So it's very precise. It's delivering precise, accurate data about a smaller group of genes. So that's the technology that we use. And these are some examples of these groups of genes. At NewSkin we call them youth gene clusters. And this was the science that we did when we were developing our anti-aging facial science. So we have 4 groups of youth gene clusters, some that were genes that were involved in the appearance of pigmentation because our skin tone changes as we age. There were other genes that we looked at and we examined how their expression changes with regards to fine lines and wrinkles. And then as we age as well, our skin tends to become dry. So we looked at genes that control the moisture content of skin and looked at how those genes are expressed in young skin and how those genes are expressed in old skin. And then we also looked to see how we can add materials and technologies to our experiments that will be effective and that we can then use to help us in our product development. This is more data that we've developed with some of our technologies, and each line represents one gene. So we're looking here at a much smaller group of genes. Each line is a gene, and some genes are increased, some gene expression is increased, some gene expression is decreased. So it's about a balance. And I think it's important to note that we're not talking about one gene. And you'll see in sort of magazines and newspapers, even listening to the news, scientists or groups of researchers will say, "Oh, by gosh, I found it. This gene is the one that controls aging and everything about aging." And I just think that to me as a scientist it's a little bit short-sighted, because I know from my own experience as I get older, there's so many things happening in my body that to put that down to one gene, I don't know about that. That seems a bit difficult to believe. So I think for me it makes more sense to look at groups of genes that are involved in all of the different aspects of aging and look at how to influence those genes back to a more youthful pattern of gene expression. And that's exactly what we're doing with NewSkin. So once we've got our scientific insights, we ensure that we've protected them, because we don't want other people sniffing around the same discoveries and taking them away from us. So patents are very important to us, and they ensure that you have something unique in the marketplace. And we also like to publish our work. And throughout of the last, it's going to be 6-7 years now of our anti-aging science, this is the total to date. So we've got 22 patents filed or pending. We've got 13 articles published, 15 oral presentations, 38 scientific posters, and 4 prestigious awards. So not bad for a bunch of lunatic scientists in the basement, huh? Okay, so that's kind of the science, and it's what we do on our day-to-day, in our day-to-day jobs. But I also started at the beginning of the presentation about the products need to deliver an experience. They need to deliver a benefit. So all the science is great, but the key thing is does it really work? Let's have a look at some data from our personal care products. The Future Serum, we did a 12-week clinical and consumer perception study. The Future Serum product is the workhorse of the transformation kit, and it has a whole bunch of actives that we carefully formulated in there so that they're stable and so that when you use the product, they'll still be active. And we gave the product, before we launched the product, to a group of human subjects that tested Future Serum for 12 weeks. And these were the results. We got improvements of 8 different signs of aging. And another thing we noticed, and I thought, this is interesting, at the time, we were seeing some really nice results in 1 week. And for a personal care, for a product, when you're putting it on your face, it usually takes a while for the skin to adjust and react and provide a benefit. But we saw changes in 8 different signs of aging in 7 days. And I thought, well, something to note, that's good, this is a powerful product. Okay, so then we continued to innovate, and we had True Face Essence for a long time, right? And then we innovated. True Face Essence was based on a technology, and we understood how we could enhance the technology and provide more benefits for firming. So we innovated and developed True Face Essence Ultra, and we then took that and we age-locked True Face Essence Ultra. So now the product approaches firming from 3 different approaches, right? So it's got technology that goes after improving firming of the skin from 3 different approaches. So it's really very powerful. We did some clinical testing. And again, this is a 12-week study, but I was also intrigued that we saw some really nice data in the first week. And the more and more that I've seen our age-lock products develop, the more and more that I'm convinced that these products are really working fast. You know, they speed to benefit is so important, and we're getting some noticeable differences within just 1 week of product usage. So these are the self-perception results for age-lock True Face Essence Ultra over the 12 weeks of use in overall firmness and firmness around the eyes. All right, so I also wanted to just talk a bit more about this study. It was a third-party study done out of house, and we asked the subjects that were using the product, we asked them a question, and we said, do you think you look younger? And if they said yes, we said, well, how many years do you think you look younger? How much younger do you think you look? So this is the data. And what I find amazing is, again, in the first week, so after using the product for 1 week, all of the subjects reported that their skin looked younger. And this chart shows the 1 week data. And it's a little difficult to see, but the subjects, so it's 3/4 of the subjects said they looked up to 3 years younger. Right, so 75% of the subjects using the product for 1 week, some of them said they looked 1 year younger, some of them said they looked 2 years younger, some of them said they looked 3 years younger, right? In 1 week, right? So it's showing that, you know, who doesn't want to turn back the hands of time, right? By the end of the study, 15% of subjects felt their skin looked 10 or more years younger. So it's not everybody, but it's 15%, right? That's still a significant number for 10 or more years younger in 12 weeks, right? I'd want to try that product. All right. So finally, I just want to summarize what I talked about. I've given you a little bit of history. New Skin started in 1984, and innovation was at the core of the products. We started with a small product portfolio of 12 personal care products, and now we sell over 200 personal care products, and all of them are based on the same product development principles. Great science, great benefits, great experience. And there are some examples like LifePak and Scanner that are just outstanding because they're unique. They provide you guys, our distributors, with such a unique position in the marketplace. And I also think that when you're talking about anti-aging, it's not just about what you slap on your skin. It's also about your supplements and your nutrition. And New Skin, as an anti-aging company, is perfectly positioned to provide benefit and to provide the complete optimal anti-aging approach for our distributors. So we also make sure that our products go through a strict, rigorous quality process. We make sure that our products, that when you get them, they smell great and they provide that experience. And we do our scientific homework. We look for areas of science where nobody's been before. We explore those areas in that world. And in the future, we're going to continue to innovate. We're looking at how people are different and how people's needs are different and how we can accommodate what people want to get out of their skincare and out of their nutritional programs. So thank you very much for your attention. I really appreciate it. Thank you.